Good evening. Happy Sunday. How are you? Hello, happy Sunday. We will be starting Sunday Stories here in about 10 minutes. I just want to pop on and thank you guys for the follow, the support, and I'm really excited about tonight's live, tonight's Sunday Story. I have two guests tonight, Carmen and Leanne. And although their stories are different, they're both on the same journey of trying to regain their health. And it is very interesting how we're going to dive into their different journeys, but yet they're still on the same path together. Hey, how are you? I'm really excited to learn more about Carmen's journey and about Leanne's. And tonight we'll do that here at 6 o'clock. I'm your host, Cecilia, here with the weight room, and that'll start here in about, I'd say, 9 more minutes. We have two guests tonight. One of their journeys has started with having vertical sleeve surgery, weight loss surgery, and the other has been pre-diabetic, and then they are both now on the medication Mounjaro. It's really cool to see how the Mounjaro is being used for different types of patients, although we're seeing the same results. So I'm really excited to hear their stories and be able to educate you guys more on the different ways to, get healthy. Although they may not look the same, we're all on the same path. So tune in here in about 8 more minutes to catch Leanne and Carmen's stories. And every Sunday, I'll be having a new guest on here. I'm really intrigued to bring on more people who have had different experiences. Although I am on a weight loss medication, I'd love to hear from people who have had weight loss surgery or have had success with different diet and exercise. I would love to educate myself and my followers on more techniques that we can use and utilize other than the things that we're on ourselves. I'm a very open-minded person. I don't think the only way to get the job done is the way I'm doing it. So I'm very intrigued to being educated by other people and having that open mind. And hearing these stories, it also helps knowing that there are others out there who have either struggled like we have, or we can relate with their struggles that they've had. So I hope you guys tune in here in about, I'd say 7, 8 more minutes. My two guests will be on here in a little bit. Hey, Tris, how are you? And they will be sharing their stories. If you caught or if you have missed any of the Sunday stories, we've had it on twice now. This is our third one. My YouTube is linked in my bio, and all of them are replayed on my YouTube. You can catch them there. Thank you so much for sharing. I just thought it was a really cool idea to give people a platform to be able to talk about their journeys and really dive into the different paths that each of us have taken. We know what my journey has looked like. I share it all the time on this page, but I think it's really intriguing and eye-opening that someone who is diabetic has struggled similar to what I have. Somebody who's decided to have weight loss surgery has thought about the same things that I have. Although we did not make the same choices, we have still struggled the same way. Oh, thank you. Ryan got it for me for Christmas. I have another one that says Slay, which is my subscriber handle tag. Thank you. I hope it reads the right way. So like when I see it, it reads correctly. So I hope it looks right because you can flip it either way. But yeah, so I'm really intrigued to hear other stories, really learn about, you know, actually it's more about connecting with more people. I don't really have a big support system here in my personal life. Like I have my mom, I have Ryan, I have Ryan's mom. Yeah, absolutely. I hope one day you have the opportunity or a free time to come on here and talk with me. I would love to have you on here. If you are interested in signing up to be my guest, all you have to do is click the link in my bio and sign up for any Sunday. I think I have it out until I think I loaded all of March in there. So you can go ahead and do that now. When any other guests come on, if you are a guest on tonight's episode, all you have to do is click at the bottom left-hand side of your screen where it says guests. Tap that, and that little thing will pop up for me to be able to include you in tonight's series. Oh yeah, well we'll help you. We'll help you do that. I used to do grow parties all the time. I love doing grow parties, so we should do one for you. Hello, hello, guys. Alexa, play some music.
Playing the personalized station, my soundtrack from Amazon Music.
Yes, we got you. Go ahead and play some music until we get the guests on here. Um, yes, I have something to share with you guys. So I had bought a North Face coat back in October, and my mom said something to me, I think it was on Friday, and she says, that coat is hanging off of you. It's a 2X, and it was the first time I was able to buy a North Face in store and not have to buy a men's 2X or the women's plus size. Because my mom said that, I looked at my receipt. I finally found my receipt and everything. I actually had 3 more days to be able to return this coat under their 90-day policy. I returned the coat today. I was able to get a women's extra large, and it is pretty big on me, but not big, big. I have a wide chest, so I have to get a little bit bigger, but it has a cincher in the waist, and I didn't have to get a plus size. I was able to buy right off the rack. I didn't have to buy a men's size. I was really excited about that. Haley Ann, hello, hello. If you are our guest tonight, all you have to do is hit the bottom left-hand screen where it says guest, and I will bring you on. Alexa, turn off. And I'll share this later tonight. I was able to buy normal stuff at Victoria's Secret and at Pink. I've never been able to do that ever. I've always been big chested, and I've had to buy 30, no, I've had to buy 44 to 46 and put extenders in them. All right. Let's see. We're getting Leanne on here. Hey, Leanne.
Hey,
Can you hear me okay?
yeah.
Okay,
Can you hear
perfect.
me?
I can.
Okay, good.
We'll wait a couple minutes to see when Carmen gets on here. Yeah, so I bought stuff from Victoria's Secret and from Pink today. I don't know if anybody else is looking for bras. I'm usually not a big person to buy clothes right now, but Victoria's Secret has their clearance right now. And I got 2 bras for less than the price of one. And then over at Pink, their bralettes were $15 each. So I got myself
That's good
hooked
to
up.
know because I need some new
Yeah.
ones.
Yeah. So I'll show you guys. I'll show you guys the pink ones. I don't think I can show you guys the Victoria's Secret ones. I got a little risque with those. Um, but it's just a little bralette, and I would have never been able to buy
Cute.
anything from there. This is much like, I have several of these kind of like this. Um, the ones that I have just like this are Sports Illustrated, but they don't make any other colors. So I found this one, and I very excited. Oh, thank you,
Very
thank you,
cute.
thank you. Yeah, the ones from Victoria's Secret, it was funny. My mom went in the dressing room to help me because I haven't bought bras, and I mean, I used to order them online, but they never carried them in store because I was a 44 to 46, and then I still was putting an extender in it. So I never went in store. My mom was helping me. It's quite hilarious, actually, if anybody was in there seeing it. Hello, hello.
I
All
love
right.
Victoria's Secret too because they'll size you. And that's I mean, that's important when you're losing weight because you might think you've gone down a cup size when actually it's not the cup that's maybe went down,
Yes.
it's the around.
So
So,
I used to be uh a 44 to 46 triple D, and now these are a 38 double D, and they fit really
wow.
nice, and I could probably I it was just weird because some of the cup sizes, if they're padded, some of them were too big, but if they weren't padded, they fit perfectly. So it kind of varied on what the style was. Um, but just being able to go down that many sizes and actually go look
That's
in the
great.
store, look in the store at stuff. That was so much fun.
Mm-hmm.
All right, guys. Well, it's 6 o'clock. We'll continue to wait for Carmen to pop on. If you guys do see Carmen pop in, let her know that she can click the little button at the bottom left where it says guests, and we will add her in. I'll go ahead and introduce myself. My name is Cecilia, and I'm here with the Weight Room, and I am all about bringing on people who have been on other journeys besides what I've done myself, or even if they've done weight loss medication as well, but learning what their path has looked like, and educating myself. I know there's different ways we can get to the same results, and I'm trying to like educate myself and educate my followers, to learn about the different ways that we can lose weight, whether it's with weight loss surgery, weight loss medication, diet and exercise, or if you haven't even started your journey yet and you have questions, you're more than welcome to be a guest here on the Weight Room, and I would love to have that conversation with you. Tonight we have Leanne with us, and she is going to start off by introducing herself and telling us a little bit about her story.
Hi, everybody. I'm Leanne. I am currently taking weight loss medication. I'm on Mounjaro. I've been on that since the end of October. I'll give you a little bit of backstory. I've struggled with weight pretty much most of my adult life. It's been a roller coaster. After I had my last two pregnancies were back to back, and
Oh, wow.
that just ruined my body. And I mean, it's been, let's see, my youngest is 22. She'll be 22. So it's been a while, but I've really struggled since then because my other daughter is 23. So they're very close in age. She's going to be 24, but that wreaked havoc on my body. And I've had other health concerns over the years, high blood pressure in the last few years, high cholesterol, um, just various things as you age that happens. And I'll be 50 this year. But
Can
I
we
guess
take them?
since the
Can we
pandemic,
take them?
yeah,
Okay, take them. You do not look 50. You look gorgeous.
thank you.
I
Thank
would
you.
have, when I was reading your bio and everything, you took me back. You look amazing. So
Thank you. Thanks a
yeah,
lot.
very happy for
Um,
you.
well, I would say before I started on this weight loss journey, I felt more than 50. Um, I was at my highest weight, I was and this has just been in the last year, I was 180, almost 182, and I'm 5'2". I went to my primary care physician, and I was like, I've gained because I gained like 20 pounds in a year's time. And I said, I've put on 20 pounds. It was hurting my joints, it was hurting everything. And she, she seemed concerned as well. Um, but at that time, this was back in the spring, she just, told me the normal thing: eat less, move more, see how that goes. So I tried it. I went 3 months, and I tried a calorie restriction. I tried to move a little bit more, and I went back to see her after 3 months, and I'd lost 5 pounds. 5 pounds.
Isn't
So
that so frustrating?
it is, but I mean, at that point, I really wasn't concerned so much with my weight. I mean, I was, but it was kind of secondary to, like, I have arthritis too, and just my joints and everything were hurting. And so the weight was kind of secondary to that. I was more concerned with my blood pressure, my cholesterol, the aches and pains in my body. I couldn't really exercise like I wanted to because it just hurt to move. Um, but it wasn't until I went to see her in October, early October, and she always did routine labs, and I was pre-diabetic, and that really just set things in for me. That really scared me. Um, so I asked her, I was like, and I'd never heard of any weight loss medicines. I've heard of them, but didn't have any experience with them, didn't know anybody that had any experience with them. And I really wasn't looking for weight loss. I asked her if there was anything that I could do to treat the prediabetes now before it turned to diabetes. And she said, well, there's this new drug, it's Mounjaro. And she said it's for diabetes, but doctors are prescribing it off label for um, pre-diabetes also. And she said, let's try on that. And I said, okay. And she said a bonus. She said, you know, it's going to help you lose a little bit of weight too. Like, great.
What an
So I
amazing
had,
way for all those words to come out exactly how they needed to, and to have a doctor actually, advocate for you.
yes, I was very pleased. I was a little bit scared because it was an injectable, you know, that's always scary. But my big concern was I wanted to stop the diabetes in its track. I didn't want to get to where
Absolutely.
I was insulin dependent. So, yeah, so I went and got the prescription. She sent it to a local pharmacy. That's not normally the pharmacy that I use. I usually use the big box pharmacy. She said she told me, she said, this medicine's expensive. I'm going to send it to this local pharmacy. They know how to handle, there's a savings card. They know how to handle all that and everything. And so I was able to pick it
Wow.
up, get started right away. And so far, and I went back to see her the next month, and my numbers were already coming down. My cholesterol had come down. My blood sugar was back almost in a normal range. Um, I had lost 15, well, I'd lost 13 pounds at that point when I went back to see her. I'd lost 13 pounds the first month, which
That's
a lot of that I know was
amazing.
water weight, but because there was
That's
a lot of
okay.
inflammation. But yeah, one of the things I noticed about the medicine when I started it, immediately, my joints felt better. Like in like day two, and I was just amazed. And so that's when I started looking up
Yeah.
Manjaro, and that's when I came to TikTok and found the community, and that's when I really started finding out about it and how much potential there was for weight loss and all of that. So
That's
here I am. I'm
amazing.
down. Let's see. I have all this written down here. I am down almost 30 pounds, 29.6 pounds so far.
That's exciting.
Yeah. And 29 inches.
Wow.
Hmm.
Your overall body has to feel like a complete 180.
It does. It does. I mean,
And
I felt
now,
great. I felt the relief on my joints, which was probably inflammation right away. But I can tell, like, I have bad knees, and I
mhm,
can tell such a difference in my knees and my ankles just because I'm not carrying as much weight. And all of my weight was distributed, like most of it was in my torso.
right.
I've always had skinny legs and skinny arms. Um, and so it was just really hard because of where my weight was distributed. It was hard on my frame to carry it. And so, yeah, I feel so much better already. And I'm able to go
That's
to the gym and I can walk and do all the things. And I'm even doing strength training and stuff now. So
that's
it's
amazing.
exciting.
Now, have you reduced any of your arthritis medication, or if you are on anything? I know you say you feel better. Are you having to take any medications for that, and has it been reduced because of this?
Yeah, I'm not taking anything. I was on meloxicam, which is like it's an NSAID. Um, and I was taking that and then ibuprofen. I can't even tell you the
Mm,
last time I even took an ibuprofen. I
that's
completely stopped
amazing.
taking the meloxicam, and then I haven't taken any ibuprofen or anything either. Like I get
Wow.
up, and before it was like I would get up, and as soon as I get out of bed, it would take me like probably 30 minutes
Hmm.
to just work all the stiffness and pain out of my joints where I could actually walk upright and completely stretch my back and everything.
Right.
And I don't have that anymore. I can just get up and get right into
That's
my day.
so
So,
amazing.
yeah.
Now, did you ever I guess you didn't even go on this path to try to even lose weight. You were just stopped right in your tracks when you were talked to about prediabetes. So
Yes.
you don't have, the experience of having to, find a doctor who will listen to you. So I'm so very happy for you that you said the exact words, is there anything that we can do to prevent diabetes? And your doctor was just right on it. That is like,
Yes.
that's amazing. I'm so happy for you.
Thank you. Me too. And now that I am in, like, now that I'm part of the community and I see all the stories, I feel so blessed because I had just moved here too. I'm in Kentucky, and this is my home state, but I had just moved back home I had lived in New Mexico for 5 years.
Hmm.
And so this was a brand new doctor. I mean, pretty brand new to me as well.
Right.
So for her to just be so gung ho and with me, to want to stop this in its tracks. And I mean, she just didn't hesitate at all. And I see a lot of doctors, you know, if they're not endocrinologists or obesity doctors, they're a little skittish about prescribing weight loss medication. And so for her to be that on board with me was, yeah, I just feel really blessed.
Absolutely. And I think one thing we should take away from this is, addressing this with your doctor as an anti-diabetic medication. When we address things like that, I feel like maybe more doctors would be prone to having that conversation. But as soon as we say we want a weight loss medication, it's like there's a stigma behind it and nobody wants to have that conversation, or they don't want to help you because they feel like you're not doing enough for yourself already. So the way you worded it for yourself put you in to a position for success. And I think that's one big thing we'll take away from your story tonight. Like, we need to continue to share that with people. How to
Yeah,
word it for yourself. It's an
because ultimately,
anti-diabetic
I mean, that's
medication.
yeah, and ultimately, I mean, I know that it's nice. People look at weight loss and, you know, oh, I want to be skinny. But, you know, you get to a point where you start having all these health issues because you're overweight. Then it starts sinking in, you know, I don't want to die young. I've got, you
Exactly.
know, my kids need me. I've got grandbabies now. I want to be a part of their life as long as possible. And so
Absolutely.
that's how I looked at it. And I probably, I mean, I was probably a little scared myself to even ask for weight
Of
loss medicine. I
course.
mean, I knew there were some out there, but I guess I didn't think that I was deserving of them, or, you know, and I think a lot of us feel that way. Like you're
Yeah,
like it's a failure of your own personal,
absolutely.
like you're not doing enough.
Right.
And we need to get out of the mindset, because that's these drugs are out there to help when what we do isn't enough. And there's nothing to be ashamed of. There's nothing to be ashamed of about any of it.
Absolutely. And that was one of the main purposes of being able to have these conversations and being able to talk about our different journeys, is to just make us feel more comfortable speaking about it and bringing awareness to it's okay to talk to your doctor about what you want, and then giving us key examples of how you address that with your doctor too, and being able to vocalize your concerns. You didn't hesitate at all. You just said, how do we stop this? And I'm so proud of you for doing that for yourself, because so many of us either didn't have a doctor who advocated for us, or we didn't know what to say or what to think. And in my specific case, my doctor never even tested me for my A1C. They only tested my glucose levels. And for years, my glucose levels were out of control. So I'm so proud of you for standing up for yourself and just being a voice for yourself.
Thank you. And also, I didn't realize until well, it was last month. It was December. I didn't realize none of my other doctors had tested my blood sugars that way either. And come to find out, I have to do a biometric screening every year for my work for it. Well, I mean,
Mm-hmm.
I don't have to, but it gives me a discount on my insurance. So I do that every year. And I had never really paid that much attention to the results of those. I mean, I looked at my cholesterol and it was really high. And I looked at my blood pressure. I mean, I monitor my blood pressure. And those really were the only two things that I paid much attention to, because I knew I had issues there. I didn't even look at the blood sugar. So I went back when I got the results for my biometric screening this year. I went back and looked at my three previous years, and my blood sugar was high all all 3 years, and none
That's
of
so
my doctors had ever
frustrating.
tested or addressed that.
That's so
So I wonder
frustrating.
how many people don't pay attention to that, or don't know that they need to be checking that, especially as we age. And if you are overweight, have your doctor check that. If that's not something they're normally doing, have that checked. Because in my opinion, I think I'd rather have more information early on
Absolutely.
than for a doctor to wait until, you know, you start being symptomatic for diabetes, and then it may be too late. Like,
Exactly.
take care of it early. Take care of it early.
Right. I'm so happy for you.
And I'm excited. I go back to the doctor in February, well, it's the 15th of February, and I'm so excited
Okay.
to see my numbers again then. because I'm sure
Yeah.
they're even better. So,
So tell us a little bit about your journey. So you are on the medication. Now, have you altered anything other than just taking the medication? Like, what does your normal day look like before Manjaro and now with Manjaro?
um, okay, before Manjaro, I tried to eat healthy. I tried to avoid processed foods as far as
Mm-hmm.
like when I would cook meals, but I wasn't avoiding processed snack foods. And so since I started taking Manjaro, I haven't craved any of those snacky things that I did before. And so it's been a lot easier for me to just cut those from my normal shopping, my normal
Yeah.
staples of what I get and what I keep in my house. Um, so that changed. Also, I didn't find this out until until I started researching, but I was worried about protein.
Mm-hmm.
I know that I didn't want to lose muscle mass and I didn't want to lose my hair. That was a big thing. I was like, oh my God,
Yeah.
I can't lose my hair. Pretty early on, I started implementing protein shakes. Um, and I didn't realize how important they were. That's been a journey too, like just the transition from how I used to eat and how I used to think about food and how I think about it now. And what I like to say is I used to live to eat and now I eat to live. I have like
Perfectly said.
totally reversed my mindset when it comes to food. I don't it's not that I don't enjoy food. There's still things I enjoy. And I partake. I don't really restrict myself as far like I went to my granddaughter's birthday party yesterday. There was cake. I had a cupcake. There was cupcakes. I ate one of the tiny little cupcakes. I don't make anything off limits, but at the same time, um, I mean, I don't really restrict myself, but I don't want,
You're
where
not
before I would have
craving that.
taken, no, before I would have wanted the end piece with all the icing. Give me the corner piece of the big cake, and I want all the icing. And I
Yes.
would have eaten it all. And now it was fine just getting the one little cupcake, and that completely satisfied me. So, yeah, the way I look at food has totally changed. And because I'm focusing on protein, and I'm also working with a nutritionist too. I have that benefit through my insurance. It's free to me. So I decided pretty early on in my journey to go ahead and take advantage of that and talk with a
Perfect.
nutritionist. And so he's been really good at keeping me on track as far as getting vegetables and fruits because yes, I need to focus on protein, but I was forgetting about, and I was good about fruits, but I totally forgot about vegetables. And so he worked with me on getting more vegetables in my diet. And so,
Now,
yeah.
do you have a specific protein shake or powder that you use that you really recommend?
Um, I like the Fairlife shakes. They're my favorite. It depends on what I do with them. I like the Premier Protein also. I like to mix that in like smoothies or coffee because they
Oh,
seem to have a more variety of flavors. I don't drink as much coffee as I used to either. For some reason, it just doesn't taste as great. But to just drink the protein shakes, Fairlife's my favorite.
yeah. I don't know if you get them from Amazon or not, but I get them on Amazon through a subscription, and they're almost $12 cheaper a case.
Oh, wow. Well, I belong to Sam's, so I
Oh,
get them
yep,
through there.
yep,
But the only bad thing is that I'm limited to just one flavor.
yeah.
My Sam's only carries the chocolate, so if I want any other flavors, I'll usually get the Premier protein shakes in any of the
Okay.
other flavors. So
Yeah, those are good too. Now, with your nutritionist, since you are seeing your primary care doctor and a nutritionist through your health insurance, is that all in person or do they have any virtual visits or anything like that?
my PCP is I see her in person, and then but with my nutritionist, it's all telehealth.
Perfect. I've
Yeah,
noticed, especially since COVID, the transition to telehealth through our regular doctors and the networks that we have with our insurance has definitely shifted more towards that. So I was wondering, I use a telehealth service right now, which is through an app, to have a doctor write me Manjaro. I just didn't know what that experience looked like for you with a nutritionist as well. But I'm glad that works for you because it just makes it more convenient for us.
it really does. Plus, I work nights. I work
Oh,
night shifts,
perfect.
so that throws like a whole other wrench in the works as far as
Yep.
appointments and stuff like that. So I was really happy that I could get that get a telehealth visit because I can do that later in the evening than you normally would go and meet with someone.
Absolutely. That
And
works
he's
out
in
perfect.
Colorado, so it's still early for him, but later
Yeah.
for me. So it works out great.
Awesome. And then I know you mentioned that you had, before Manjaro, you had tried increasing your movement. What does your movement look like now? Are you doing anything above and beyond? Are you doing going to the gym? I think you mentioned a little bit of going to the gym and being able to lift weights or strengthening.
Yeah. Before, when I would go to the gym, I would basically just, when I would make myself go to the gym, I would just do like the treadmill. I would walk on the treadmill. Now I'm able to actually use the machines. So I still do the treadmill.
Yeah.
I go in and I'll do the warm
Cardio's
up on the
great.
treadmill. I'll usually walk a mile, mile and a half on the treadmill first, and then I go into the strength training. And that's been, I mean, I haven't ever really done that before. I did a few years ago. I had our surgery on one of my arms. I had cubital tunnel in my elbow, which is like carpal tunnel, but
Hmm.
it's in your elbow rather than your wrist. And so I did do some strength training with my arms right after I had that surgery just to build back the strength in my arm, but I'd never really done anything long term or
Right.
consistently. So yeah, I've that's something new. The strength training is something new. And I love it. It's great.
I know. Before Manjaro, I used to tell people, or I tell my mom or Ryan, I never know like how people could go running down the street or go feel great going to the gym. And now I have that feeling and I know how good it feels and like how exuberating it is. And it's just like, oh, that's why they wanted to go, or that's why they're running down
Yes,
the street. It feels good.
it does. It does. And that was something I couldn't do before. I always dreaded going to the gym because, when you're quite a bit overweight, it's not just that it doesn't necessarily it hurts, but you're also so winded and it's so exhausting because you can't move like you need
Absolutely.
to. And even if you want to, your physical body is restricting you from doing what you want to do. So I didn't even start going to the gym or doing anything until it was probably December. I
Okay.
waited a couple months. Once the weight started coming off, then
Yeah.
I was able to go and do the things, and I realized that I could do the things and that my body wasn't limiting me the way it had previously.
Right.
Yeah, it's kind of sad because I've had a gym membership for like 4 years, and I can count on two hands how many times I had been there.
Yeah.
And a lot of the time, it was just to use the massage chairs and
Are you talking about
lay in the
Planet
tanning
Fitness?
bed. Yeah,
Me too.
yeah, yeah.
Probably the
So,
last 4 years paying for it and
hmm
never went.
yeah,
So now
yeah.
that although you've only been on it a few months, you're having great success. You've lost, you said 30 pounds,
Right at, yep.
right at 30 pounds. What does 2023 look like for you? Um, are we having plans of talking with your doctor about long term or maintenance? What is your goals and what does this year look like for you on this journey?
Yeah, I plan to talk to her about maintenance when I go see her in February because I mean, I really only want to lose probably another maybe 25 pounds. And so since this has come off so quickly, I'm looking at probably in another 3 or 4 months, maybe 5 months, being at a goal. And I want to know, I want to have that discussion with her now about, I want to go ahead and get
Right.
a plan in place for maintenance. She did tell me, she did warn me when she started me on the Mounjaro that it could be a long-term med. So I was prepared for that also.
Right.
Um, there is some price. The price is expensive, but I did find out that it is a formulary on my insurance, and I had a conversation with my insurance company about it. So I'm
Oh,
not going to
great.
have any issues maintaining or getting to a point where I can just be on a maintenance dose. My insurance is going to
Perfect.
cover that, so that was good to know. So I am going to have a
Perfect.
conversation with her about it because I don't mind. I mean, I feel like that I've made enough life change habits that it will probably, I mean, I know it will benefit me even if I were to completely stop the medication, but all the things that it's done for me and that it continues to do for me besides the weight loss, I don't have an issue staying on it. And if that's what my doctor thinks is best for me to stay on it, even at a lower dose, I'm completely fine with that. And so I do plan on having a conversation with her about it.
That's amazing. Now, if you were to start this journey all over, um, and you were back into the chair at the doctor's office being told that you are pre-diabetic, what would yourself now tell your previous self about this journey or to prepare yourself?
Um, well, I would probably have told myself to do some research first because I would have known about all these medicines
Mhm.
beforehand, but I try not to Google. I try to stay away from Google because, you can put in that you have a cough and, your fingernails hurt and it's going to tell you you have 6 months to live.
Yeah.
Some websites will tell you you have 6 months to live. So I try not to, I try not to Google too much, but I probably would have done some more research just so I would have known I would have known about these options. Um, I feel like I did everything the right way. The only thing maybe that I wish I would have, maybe I wish I would have done it sooner. Um, just because having looked at my labs, like my biometric screening, now knowing that I have had this problem for 3 years and I didn't know about it, I would have been more of an advocate for myself. We think that the
Absolutely.
doctors know everything and that they're going to just take care of all the lab work that we need and they're just going to be on top of everything. But if we're not giving them a reason to check something, they're not going to check it. So,
Right.
and that's my thing. Like, if we're not having any symptoms that might clue them in that, you may be having an insulin resistance problem. Your sugars may be high. If we're not giving them reasons to check that, then they may not check that. So just do your research and then advocate for
Absolutely.
yourself. And that's what I would have told myself earlier.
That's great. That's great. Um, Based off of everything you've gone through, do you monitor your blood sugar now, or do you just have that checked when you go in?
I just have it checked when I go in. I did send a message through her portal about kind of early on about getting a glucose monitor. Um, but she didn't seem to think that it was necessary since we were on the medicine,
Hmm.
that there was really no need in me like pricking my fingers every day.
Yeah.
But that I could stop by the office anytime and they would check it for me. So I didn't
Okay.
really pursue it. Um, Now, my ex-husband, he does have a glucose monitor, and he has checked it a couple times, and it's been fine. But yeah, she didn't think it was necessary. So
Yeah. So the reason I bring that up, I actually wear a continuous one, and when my levels are steady, I I wouldn't have craved that big corner piece of cake either. I would have craved just a little tiny cupcake. But if my blood sugars were super low or if they were already super high, that's when I would indulge and like have those binge moments of give me more cake or go ahead and get the biggest piece of cake.
yeah, yeah,
All the
and I don't
icing.
know, how I'm still not, even with the research that I've done and all the people that I follow, and I still don't really know exactly how these medicines work. I mean, I get it to some degree,
Yeah.
but it happens so fast. I took my first, it was late October, and I had went trick-or-treating with my grandkids, and um we'd stopped at someone's house that we knew and they'd given him a donut and he bit into it and he was like, I don't want it anymore. And he handed it to me. Can you still hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. One of my AirPods died, so
Oh.
I'm gonna plug the other one and see if that works. It's without even thinking, I just, and as I was chewing it, my body did not want it. And that was the first time in years that my body did not want all of that sugar.
Yeah.
And I was like, And it just took me aback. And if I hadn't have been around so many other people, I would have literally just spit it out. I made myself chew it up and swallow it, but I would have spit it out. Like that's how bad my body did not want that donut.
It definitely feels like
So,
sugar is different on my taste buds now. Um, Almost as if it's, I don't know how to explain it. Almost painful, if that makes sense. Of like my tongue like is over stimulated or something when I eat
yeah,
sugar, and
like
it just doesn't want it.
yeah, like it's just too much. Like it's almost like everything's too rich. Like, you
Right.
eat,
Yeah.
like when you eat something, a really decadent dessert or something, you can only take a bite or two because it's so
Right.
rich. It's almost like everything that is that way. Like you just
Yes,
really taste all of the flavors of everything,
I
and
agree.
it all just becomes too much. I had my first, like, I took, that was the first situation that was like, whoa, can't do that. And then the second was we were out shopping and we stopped into a little pizza place, and they had, a Chicago style pizza, and I got a slice. I knew I wasn't that hungry, so I just got one slice of pizza. I tried to eat the pizza, or I tried to eat the whole piece of pizza. I did end up eating like three-quarters of the piece of pizza. I made myself
Mm.
eat three-quarters of the piece of pizza because these were really big slices.
Yeah.
I was so sick, not like immediately, but as the day went on, I knew that I could not handle that greasy pizza.
Yeah.
And so it's been a learning process. It really
Oh, for
has.
sure.
And it makes you actually eat cleaner, whether you want to or not. I mean, it makes you want to eat
Absolutely.
cleaner. So
Yes.
yeah, now I steer clear of too much grease, too much sugar, anything too rich or too fatty. My body doesn't want it. So
Yes. So actually, in the studies, it mentioned that it did a low fat, nothing fried, low sugar type of diet. They didn't do anything specific, but they, stayed towards that kind of thing. And I see these people posting on TikTok and stuff about how they're still not feeling that great or they're having all these awful reactions. And I'm telling you, the moment I just stuck to the low carb, the low sugar, and just made sure nothing was fried, I had not had any issues of like severe nausea or severe side effects or anything. And it really, really helps. Um, and I'm telling, did you ever experience, since being on this, severe appetite suppression where you felt like you couldn't eat at all?
yes. Um, no, I didn't on the first. Okay, so I started at 2.5. I did notice appetite suppression, but it wasn't to the point where I couldn't eat. I just knew that it was my I was being suppressed. It was less. With the 5, it was kind of hit and miss. There were days that I felt like I could eat pretty normal, and then there were other days that I felt more suppressed than normal. Now, I went up to 7.5. I just took my fourth shot of 7.5. 7.5 has been more consistent with not wanting to eat. Like I literally have to make myself eat. I have to be very, that's why I say I'm eating to live now, not living to eat,
Right.
because I'm really am. I'm having to be very, very conscious about, you need to eat. You need to make sure you get protein. You need to make sure you're getting vegetables. And so
Absolutely.
I'm very purposeful in what I eat. Even if I can't, if I feel like I can't eat, I will make myself, like I can make myself eat a boiled egg. I
Yes,
can make
that's
myself
my
eat, yeah, I can make myself eat some cottage cheese and throw a few pieces of fruit in there. I can make myself eat a couple spoonfuls or forkfuls of green beans.
yep.
I've learned things that I can make, that my body will, even if I don't want to eat, that I can stomach, that I can make myself eat. So,
Yeah. The hard-boiled egg is my big go-to. I get the double packs, and then
sorry,
and
my
then
daughter.
oh, you're fine. And then I do the Fairlife high protein shakes, the ones that has 42 grams of protein. If I feel like I can't eat, I just start chugging those throughout the day. It's like
And I
might as
drink
well
one
get
of
it
those
in.
every day. I go ahead and eat. As soon as I get up, that's like my first thing I do is I chug a
Yep.
protein shake. So I just feel like it jumpstarts my day with the protein.
Hmm.
And then, and I know I've gotten at least that much in. So
Right.
depending on how the day goes and what my suppression is like, I know that I've at least gotten that much in. I've started my day off with protein. Because yeah, that can be tricky. I mean, you need the protein and you need to eat, but when your body just says, no, baby, no,
Yeah. You don't want it.
you learn some things that you can eat. And also, they're probably not the best and they're processed as all get out, but I bought a case of Slim Jims.
Oh yeah.
Um, I'll eat those. I know they have protein in them. I can usually eat one of those small ones. I have those in the car with me. I have them in the bottom of my purse so that if I'm out somewhere and I can't eat or I just
Yeah.
don't feel like I want to eat or whatever, I can
Yeah.
snack on those. So,
That's awesome.
and they're
Yeah.
tasty.
Yeah. Having our whole like mindset shift has been very helpful because I used to only think about food all day long. And not having that anymore has just been so freeing and so liberating to be able to think about other things. To think about going to the gym, to think about you know, cooking a good dinner and not feeling overwhelmed because all I feel is hungry.
Yeah, and it's saved me money in the grocery store too.
Yeah.
I mean, it really has. And that was what you said about always thinking about food. That was huge.
Yeah.
I didn't realize how much I thought about food until I stopped thinking about food. I mean, I pretty much thought about food all the time. I would
Yes.
eat one meal and I would already be thinking about what am I going to have for a snack? What am I going to fix for the next meal? Um, and when I would prep to go to the grocery store, what kind of greasy goody, like, what kind of treats, all the little Debbie cakes, you know, all the ice creams, just all of the things that were gonna literally kill me
Yeah.
if I didn't stop. But I couldn't stop. The more I ate those things, the more I wanted to eat those things. So,
Exactly.
yeah, it's been great. And my daughter, as a side effect of my journey, has lost, she's down like 8 or 9 pounds. So,
Oh,
because,
just from
because,
like how you guys are eating now?
yeah, hmm
That's amazing.
yep.
I shared
So,
a couple times my partner Ryan. He goes to the gym when he can with me, and then he also has been eating differently with me, and he's down 25 to 30 pounds since August since I started, and I'm just so proud of him. And it's it's like this ripple effect. Like even though I'm doing this for myself and I'm taking the medication, the other things that we're doing are so beneficial and so important that it's helping other people too. So I'm
it
so
is. And
excited
my
for your
other
daughter as
daughters are
well.
like that. My other daughters, they're in great shape. Um, they don't have, they're in their 20s, so they're neither of them are really over. One of them's a little bit overweight, but she's pregnant, so it's
Oh,
okay.
that's okay.
Um,
She should be.
but they don't, yeah, they don't have any, they don't have the struggles that I have, and I hope they never do, but they have seen, they see me eating better and doing things better, and they want to. Like, I'll go and spend weekends with them, and before it would be like, they would be like, oh, okay, mom. They never really asked me what if there was anything specific that I wanted to eat because they always kept all the snacks and all the junk food and all that. And they
Hmm.
knew that, I was going to eat all that. And now, they're very mindful of when I'm coming. They're like, do you want anything from the store? And I'm always like, just make sure you have some eggs so I can boil some eggs. They see me
Good.
making better choices and they want to make better choices too.
That's
So
amazing.
it
As a
does help
young
other people.
girl, I'm very close with my mom, so I'm just letting you know that mothers are our number one like influencer and like
Sorry.
mom, you're okay. Moms are our biggest influencer and our like number one idol. So
Sorry.
no, you're okay. So I know they're looking up to you and they are, admiring everything you're doing. So continue to do
I will. Thank you.
that. Awesome. Is there anything else you would like to share about your journey or that you've experienced since being on Manjaro that you would like other people to know?
Just the biggest thing I can say is advocate for yourself. Don't assume anything. Um, and no matter what your journey looks like, whether it's weight loss medicine or, um, if you're doing a specific diet, whether it's keto or whatever your journey looks like, be an advocate for yourself and try not to compare yourself to anybody else because that was hard for me. Everybody's different. Things are going to work one way for me and they're going to work a different way for you, and that's whether it's medicine related or a specific diet or your
Absolutely.
gym routine or whatever. Every body is different, so try not to compare yourself with anybody else.
Mom, I was saying was that.
I know,
Mom,
Courtney.
did you hear what I said?
So that's
Awesome.
really about it.
Well, Leanne, I really appreciate you coming on here and sharing your story with us.
Sure. Thank you
If
for having me.
Absolutely. If anybody wants to catch the replay, this will be on my YouTube channel that's linked in my bio. Thank you again. And we will, be on next Sunday for another Sunday series. And hopefully we'll catch Carmen. I'm not sure what happened. I'll have to message her to see if everything's okay. And then hopefully we'll be able to get her on another session here on a following Sunday. So thank you so much. It's so nice to meet
Thank
you.
you.
And
You too.
congratulations on your success. And I look
Thank
forward
you.
to, watching your journey.
Thank you so much.
Have a good night, Leanne.
You too. Bye.
Thanks, guys, for following the weight room. You guys can catch the replay for every Sunday on my YouTube channel, clicked in the link above. And if you guys have any questions about my weight loss journey, I'm an open book. I'm happy to share that information with you. And if you'd like to be a guest on my Sunday stories, please click the link in my bio. First little link says be my guest. I'd love for you to sign up and tell me your story, whether you're on a weight loss journey, whether you have had weight loss surgery, whether you've just done diet and exercise, or you have no idea where to even start. Come on here, be my guest. Let's talk. Thanks, guys, for joining me this Sunday, and I hope to catch you guys next Sunday. Thanks, guys.